Die. You're still moving. I don't want you to move. Hey guys, so today I wanted to film a little video for you called the Thetare Kid Tag. So anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge theater nerd. I eat, sleep, and breathe theater. Let's get started. When did you first start getting into theater? I've been performing my whole life pretty much, growing up in church musicals mostly. I think the first one I was in kindergarten at church in the Christmas pageant that year. But I really started getting into it, I think, was my first middle school musical in 8th grade, Bugsy Malone Jr. After that, I couldn't quit theater, and here I am 5 years later, still just as in love with it. How many shows have you been in? Okay, so I had to make a list of all of them because I didn't know the exact number, but I've been in 25 different shows so far. And when I say 25 different shows, I mean different. I've been in some shows more than once. Favorite role ever played? I would have to say my favorite role is actually the most recent role I played in the play Arsenic and Old Lace. I was two different people, Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo. They were both dead bodies of men, obviously, and it was just a fun experience. The characters in the play were trying to hide the dead bodies, and so I was just being carried around on stage, and just a lot of fun. A tip you always give to a new theater kid: you just have to step out of your comfort zone and be ready to do anything the director tells you to do. Biggest theater pet peeve? Well, there's a few, but one big one is when cast members aren't as committed as they need to be. It's a show. Why be in a show if you don't want to be committed to it? You know the time commitment when you audition. Another one is cast members who think they know better than the director. It's the director's vision, so you just need to listen to them, whether you like it or not. Biggest strengths/weaknesses. My biggest strength is probably my musicality. I only need to hear the song once in order to have it memorized, and with all the instruments I play, I know how music works. I'm good at finding harmonies and knowing when they need to be major harmonies, minor harmonies, or dissonant, and I'm good at finding my own harmonies within the written music. My biggest weakness is actually the way I look. I look younger than I am, so I'm kind of caught in the middle between adult roles and child roles. I look too old to play a child, but I look too young to play an adult, and there aren't really any in-between roles in theater. Biggest inspiration. My biggest inspiration would have to be Julie Andrews. She is my queen, and she's just so good at everything she does. Dream role. There are a lot. Mama from Memphis, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, Mimi from Rent, Mama from Chicago, and this is going to sound really weird, but I would love to play Hamlet. I don't know why I want to play Hamlet, I just think it would be the best role to play. Plays or musicals? I love them both, and I have performed in both, but I would have to say musicals. Music has always been my strong point, and I can really showcase that more in musicals. Favorite improv game? My favorite improv game has to be Chicken in a Hen House. It's kind of hard to explain, but you get 5 or 6 different partner poses that you have to recreate, but the person that's calling out the name of the poses can mix any of the two together, and you just have to create what your brain thinks of, and hilarity always ensues. Favorite show? My favorite show has got to be Memphis. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix and on YouTube, I think, and I suggest watching it. Most awkward on-stage moment. It wasn't during a performance, but it was during Tech Week, and I was doing a scene with a friend of mine, James, and we were supposed to be babies. And you know when babies have a conversation with each other, what one baby says has nothing to do with what the other baby just said? Well, that was how the script was written, so it was really hard to memorize because there were virtually no cue lines to pick up on. Both of us just forgot our lines, so we sat on stage in silence, and it was awful. Best off-stage moment. I can't really pick one because mine happens during every show, really. I like standing backstage and just listening to the audience reactions to what is happening on stage at that moment. Whether it's laughter or surprise or disgust, it's always really nice to hear what the audience thinks of it. Challenging role to play. I was in an unscripted play a few summers ago, and it was supposed to be about problems that kids face in high school, but all the characters and little scenes that we put together, they all had to be very, very vulnerable, and it was just hard for me to portray that to the audience. What would you be doing if theater didn't exist? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not good at anything else. My brain just works that way. Like this, I was made to do theater, I guess. So there you go, guys. Hope you liked my video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And check out my friend Stephanie, whom I got this idea from. I'll link to her channel down below. Also, check out my social media. Friend me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and add me on Snapchat. I'll link to those below as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!